A crystal hoax shattered. I'm Rebecca Lieb.
I'm Jason Horton.
And this is Ghost Town.
Where crystal skulls come from is a mystery. Some think they're thousands of years old and come from an ancient civilization.
Dr. Jane Walsh has studied crystal skulls just like her fictional colleague, Indiana Jones. She writes about them for the cover story in the new issue of Archaeology magazine.
Don't look it in the eye because they're supposed to be cursed.
Guarded by the living dead.
Sounds like a perfect plot for a movie, but there's just one problem. Dr. Walsh says crystal skulls aren't ancient carvings at all.
There are 4 series of 13 crystal skulls. 1 or more will be reunited. Once united, they will power a cosmic computer system, a portal, and viewing machine. These skulls will give mankind access to the higher realms of cosmic consciousness of the all-time for the no-time. Members of the Family of Light originally created this, quote, skull committee, which was delivered by the Syrian, Sirian, High Council to open the portals of higher dimensional awareness. It was placed inside the temple of Nethswitch, inside a crystal cave below the ocean floor in the Bermuda Triangle.
Fuck yeah.
The skulls were removed, and when the Anunnaki showed up in the early stages of the third iteration of Atlantis, it was done to prevent the abuses that would inevitably follow. It is prophesied that this, quote, skull committee will be reunited in the lands of the Maya in the end times. The Maya are Atlantean descendants. The most famous skull is the Mitchell-Hedges, found in Belize in 1924. And that's what we're going to get into.
Oh my God. This is...
We talk about the crystal skull.
Woo! This is like a one-stop shop for everything. This is like, it's like no conspiracy left unturned in this story. And Jason, while he's saying this, he's pretty much just shushing me. He's like, just let me fucking finish. Let me finish.
But I know that makes it worse for you.
Let me finish.
I know it's making it worse. So that is from Reddit, believe it or not, by the user The Initiate. Just want to give credit where credit is due. And the kind of metaphysical conspiracy part is a part of this, but what we're really going to get into is this one particular crystal skull, even though there are many crystal skulls.
Yeah, in the skull committee.
And the authenticity of where these skulls have claimed to come from. And we mentioned the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones.
Did.
Yes, it's those.
Like
it's
part of it. Have you seen the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
I have not. No,
I saw it in theaters. When I don't see a lot of movies, but I saw this one.
I know, that's why I was like,
You're like, oh, where's this going? No, I saw it, and I Harrison Ford. I mean, first of all, the movie's horrible, right? But it's all like in like a airplane hangar filled with antiquities, and Harrison Ford looks like he's about to break his hip, like at any given moment. So that's the only background. I really know nothing about this aside from that movie.
Well, Harrison Ford's being Indiana Jones in real life is about as real as probably the origin of this crystal skull.
Wow, not even a shred of belief in it.
I mean, it's shaped like a skull, and it is a kind of a quartz crystal, but how it was made is what makes it so interesting and powerful. And if you stare into its eyes and all that kind
like
of...
if you brought, you know that tequila company that is in a skull?
Yeah.
Or it's a vodka company, it's by like Bill Murray or something. If you're like, here's a crystal skull, I'd be like, damn.
Yeah. That's glass. Right? These look kind of like, they look very cool. Uh-huh. But the Mitchell-Hedges one is the one that is the most famous. There's like the Paris skull, and there's a bunch of other skulls. But this is the one that people are talking about the most, and the one that's been kind of carried around as like, oh, this is the thing, and people have kind of made their sort of careers kind of trotting this thing around. But yeah, it was allegedly discovered in 1924 by Anna Mitchell-Hedges, adopted daughter of British adventurer and popular author F.A. Mitchell-Hedges, which it's named after. He claimed he found the skull buried under a collapsed altar inside a temple in Louboutin. Not Louboutin.
No, Louboutin? Kristen Louboutin?
Nope. I mean, any of us would be saying
Louboutin?
right. In British Honduras, now Belize.
Okay, he's like, I'm a white guy. I'm going to go get the skull out of here. And
There's also been claims that Indiana Jones was modeled after this person.
oh,
Now,
sexy.
nobody else thinks that he does.
He thought that. Yeah. He's
he
like,
thinks that.
I am Indiana Jones.
Yeah. And sure, I mean, in a way, yes. I mean, I guess in a maybe not directly, but I mean, sure, in the ether.
In the general sense of like white guys claiming antiques from around the world.
And wearing a hat.
Yeah.
So as far as people can tell, F.A. Mitchell-Hedges himself, he never made a mention of this discovery in any of his writings on Louboutin. Mm-hmm. Others present at the time of the excavation recorded neither the skull's discovery or Anna's presence at the dig. So people were like, I was there when they said this happened and found I didn't see no skull.
Yeah.
And she was not here.
Yeah. She was probably off killing endangered species elsewhere.
Recent evidence has also come showing that Mitchell-Hedges purchased the skull at Sotheby's auction, which is probably...
So it's like they're like, we documented this shit that you didn't find this in under some collapsed temple. You use your money that you have because you're a rich white guy and just bought it.
So that was in Sotheby's auction in London on October 15, 1943 from London art dealer Sidney Burney.
Oh, it's like, we know what happened. He's like, no, a skull.
And in December 1943, Mitchell-Hedges disclosed his purchase of the skull in a letter to his brother, stating plainly that he got it from Sidney Burney. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? Mm-hmm. What are you up to? Me? I just bought a skull at Sotheby's.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
No. So a little about the skull.
Yeah.
It is 8 inches long, 5 inches wide, 5 inches high, and made out of transparent quartz. It's cool looking. It's not like uncool looking.
Sounds sick.
It weighs about 12 pounds and has many of the details of human skull, ridges, cheekbones, nose socket, detached jawbone, and deep eye sockets.
Mm-hmm. Does it have its wisdom teeth?
Well, I'll have to contact the Temple of Nefertiti and the
Crystal Skull
West, yeah.
committee in the glorious Bermuda Triangle.
Now, like Mitchell-Hedges mentions the skull only a little bit in his autobiography. So in his autobiography, he's like, I'll make
This
a
is
little
a footnote, baby.
Exactly. Uh-huh. His
Self-published? Yes.
Autobiography, Danger, My Ally in 1954.
Oh my God.
I mean, good marketing.
I love this guy.
I mean, this is great marketing.
Yeah.
And we didn't specify where he got it, how he got it. He just claimed that it's at least 3,600 years old, and according to legend, it was used by the high priest of the Maya when performing esoteric rites. Rites. Now, Anna, his adopted stepdaughter, she's still...
I think adopted stepdaughter. I guess, okay, stepdaughter who was adopted. It wasn't like, I'm going to adopt you as my stepdaughter.
Right.
Okay.
In a 1970 letter, Anna states that she was told by the few remaining Maya that the skull was used by the high priest to will death. For this reason, the artifact is sometimes referred to as the Skull of Doom. Doom, 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 doom.
That's what it says in the Sotheby's receipt.
Also, when a priest became too old to continue with his duties, he and his replacement would be in front of the altar with the skull. After a ceremony, all of the elderly priest's knowledge would be transferred into the younger man. The old priest would die.
That's just like The Giver. That's the plot of the book, The Giver.
So she toured with the skull. She did a tour with the skull.
Sweet tour.
In
14 cities, baby. It was rockin'.
From 1967, exhibiting on a pay-per-view basis, and somewhere between 98 and 90, she also toured with the skull. She continued to grant interviews about the artifact until she died. She was like, yes. She granted them, meaning like, I'll talk to anybody about it.
Yeah.
There's new scientific analysis to show that two of the most famous are fakes crafted between the 19th and 20th century to take advantage of a burgeoning antiquities market. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they love that shit. Turn of the century. Yeah. Ugh.
The skulls in question are held at the British Museum in London and the Smithsonian Institute. You want to take a little break? Let's take a little hot. Let's take a hot little break. You know what you need, Rebecca? You need another podcast to listen to.
Oh,
You didn't know that?
huh?
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
But you definitely
what's that?
do. You need one from like a hot guy. You know what I mean?
Ooh, who's the hottest guy you know?
Jason Horton has
He's
another
definitely the hottest
podcast.
guy at this table.
Back barely. I think we're like, you know what I mean? That can of Diet Coke is like looking
pretty-
strong jawline.
Yeah.
But if you need a companion piece to Ghost Town, you might want to check out brand new podcast called Strange Year.
Yeah.
Where I just take a year and I talk about the strange stuff that happened in that year. You can get that wherever you listen to podcasts. Why not? Give it a rate and
I think
review.
it sounds fun. If you can't get enough.
Yeah.
If you are just like into Ghost Town, you're like, I want more Jason. I want to get into some specific years. We're going to group this shit by years. I'm excited to listen to it.
Yeah. And
I
I
mean-
I mentioned you in
I'll
the first
listen to
episode. Yeah.
I mentioned.
Yeah.
All right, I'll definitely listen then.
Yeah. So check that out. And also, you can check out our Patreon, Ghost Town. Patreon.com/Ghost
Ghost
Town
Town
Pod.
Pod.
Yep, you got it.
Got it.
Get some bonus
It only
episodes.
took a year and a half, but I got it, you guys.
The next, it might be out when you're listening to this already, or it will be shortly after, is one that is very, very bonkers. I'm in bonkers mode.
Yeah.
Where everything is very bonkers. Oh, there's our plane.
Yeah.
Waiting to pick us up.
So we've heard a plane and a gravedigger on this podcast.
Also, if you want to get some Stitcher Premium,
Ooh.
you go to Stitcher.com/premium,
Mm-hmm.
sign up, promo code GHOSTTOWN for 1 month for free.
Whoa.
Stitcher.com/premium, promo code GHOSTTOWN, bonus episodes of all your favorite podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
no ads.
None. Not an ad in sight.
And I know you like them.
Nary an
That's why
ad.
we keep talking. Like you love
Yeah.
those ads.
Yeah.
But head over to Stitcher.com/premium, promo code GHOSTTOWN. Check it out. Be super fun.
Ooh, that might be fun.
Yeah.
Might be a good weekend activity for me. I don't have much going on.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, great.
Well, let's get back into the Crystal Skull. Skull.
Okay.
So there's also, if you go to the official website for the Mitchell-Hedges Skull, a lot of the boast is, this has been analyzed by Hewlett-Packard, the company back then.
What?
And it has been analyzed as far as like what is made up of, but it never indicates like when was it made.
Yeah.
They're not going to say, a bunch of Mayans did a bunch of curses or whatever and made the skull.
Yeah.
But that's part of the website where it'll be like analyzed by Hewlett Packard. You've heard of Hewlett Packard, right?
Right. But
You have
it's
a
like,
printer.
what is that? Yeah. It's what would that even mean?
They have like a sign. They have like
is
a
crystal.
They have like a science division that, and so that's kind of to make it like a little more authentic, but it really doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really add anything. The skulls are still, though, even though everyone knows that how some of them are being touted are not authentic, the fact that it is a antique in a sense, that it's a quartz skull.
Yeah.
They're kept at the British Museum of London and the Smithsonian
Other things that
Institution,
have been stolen from other cultures.
Washington D.C. Yeah, just
Good. Fine tradition.
and they were probably manufactured using modern tools, polishing methods. Never ever.
They were made
available-
at a De Beers.
Yeah.
They were made at Zales.
Remember Zales? Zales that still exist?
I think so.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That they were never available to the Aztecs or the Mayans, although advanced as they were. Mm-hmm. A lot of advanced
Good.
civilizations.
There's a lot of Aztecs and Mayans that are going to listen to this and be like, hey.
Hey.
Don't do us wrong.
So who actually made
Yeah.
the skulls is a mystery, but some suspect a 19th century French antiquities dealer was behind the British artifact. Archaeologists say that should end the decades of speculation over the origins of these controversial objects. I want to thank my best buds, Archaeology Today, Reddit, BBC, and How Stuff Works.
Ooh, yeah.
So if you have any, I feel like other people, because it's a pretty popular thing. If you're into this stuff, I would love to hear their feedback. I'm going to also post some pictures of like cross sections of these 12 skulls, which is like very cool looking.
Yeah, I mean, this is still cool. Like that's the thing. It's still very like even if it's like some like French antiquities head loved this stuff. Like the fact that he was like, I'm just gonna like make a bunch of skulls and like put them or like sell them to people and like pretend like there's a giant mythology around them. That's still pretty fucking awesome.
That you can kind of sneak that into into the consciousness and create something, and then somebody else adds onto it and they take ownership of that. But the fact that Mitchell-Hedges like barely for this thing, I mean, this is the thing that is like he's very well known for, and he barely mentions it. So I think a lot of it is his adopted daughter, adopted stepdaughter, whatever. She kind of took the reins on it in the same way we mentioned on the Barney and Betty Hill, where Betty a UFO episode
they
listen
really
back.
leaned in.
She really, I mean, she went on tour with that forever.
Yeah.
People were like, I think you're just adding information as you're going on, just because that becomes your identity, and you always want to be, relevant, and that's understandable. And you have this thing, and if people are still interested, like I would have, listen,
Yeah,
I'll
you
go.
kidding me? I would have just paid $25 to listen to her talk about her, alien abduction or something like that.
And you're gonna feel like a fool. She would have done it for 10.
Oh.
Hey everyone, this is Sarah from Good Nightmare Podcast, a podcast where I like to talk about all things strange and unusual, whether it's mysteries, historical crimes, or fairy tale origins. I hope you'll come along for the ride and join me as we delve into some spooky tales. Happy listening.